Hello and welcome everyone. The entrepreneurship cell of Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management is back with yet another episode of What's Up Startup. And today in What's Up Startup we have Mr. Arjit Singh as our guest of honor. Mr. Arjit is co-founder of Flyzy, an aviation tech startup recognized by Startup India, Government of India initiative with the objective to drive innovation in the aviation industry, leveraging the power of technology to enable aviation with modern technology with the view to make air travel safe, contactless, and yet provide a comfortable, personalized experience for passengers. Welcome, sir. I welcome you on the behalf of whole entrepreneurship cell of Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management.
Thank you so much, Utkarsh. Thanks for having me.
So, without ado, sir, can you take us through your journey from an engineering student to an entrepreneur?
Okay, cool. So I consider myself as a student till date. I'm not a perfect entrepreneur. It's a long way to go, and we have just started. So I started this thing an year ago, 1.5 year ago, when me and a couple of my friends just having a call and discussing about what's going on, or अभी नया क्या चल रहा है, what we can do, what's after graduation, and so during that discussion, we figured out that yeah, aviation industry is having trouble because at that time COVID hit and aviation was going down, and we were actually planning to have some solution for the travel industry, and then we figured out that yeah, now aviation have pretty much potential, and the thing is gonna change after COVID, and there will be huge opportunities for Indian companies to you know uh, pace up their tech part and be in the race as compared to the other foreign companies. So when we figured out this thing, most of the technologies were bought from European countries and some British countries, which are really expensive for the airlines in India. And India is a place where most of the airlines are budget airlines, so they are like really cost effective, and they are very much critical about the pricing they have. So we somehow figured out that this is the market we need to touch. We need to build something for the people who are traveling, and how we can leverage the power of technology to change the way people travel. So this is what we are doing. We are just trying to build something which actually change the way people travel. So right now there is a lot of things which are happening in travel industry, but the main pain point of a person, which is transparency and coordination between the way they travel, the place they are reaching, and the problems they face when they reach onto a new place. These are the few problems which are yet not focused by the companies. Uh, Companies are more into, you can say, selling tickets and selling packages, but the ground reality is way too faded in the market. So we try to get into that niche and solve that problem, and we are still on the journey.
That's great, sir. So you have started your business in tough times of pandemic. So what are the challenges you face due to the pandemic, and what are your plans regarding Flyzy when pandemic gets over?
So pandemic works both in positive and negative manner. In negative manner because no one is looking for new ideas. Everyone is looking for disaster management. No one wants to put in money in new ideas. No one have money, that much money to invest on a new startup. But at the same time, market was slow. We get time to catch up with the big players. We get sufficient time to approach people. People have time to talk to us, to understand our product, to understand what's our vision and what we are trying to do. So if I say that it's for me, it's 50-50. Pandemic, even I say 60-40. Pandemic work positive in a positive manner for us, so we can get time to actually build up something by the time people get back on the track and people start traveling. And our plans after COVID are really ambitious. We are planning to launch our operations on 6 major airports by January 2021, and we are planning to expand our operation in North America very soon, and in Southeast Asia, some bit of countries, and we are planning to tap most of the airports, and then after that we have some more plans which are in the pipeline, which we will get to know after some time.
So, sir, you have said that COVID has worked 60-40 for you. 60 was in positive manner and 40 in negative. So, how do you see the future of travel and hospitality, especially after pandemic when work from home is a thing now and people are getting habitual of connecting virtually?
So travel is gonna go up, 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 and up. So people can't stay at one place. So if we think that people the meetings or official meeting will be delayed or people will be meeting virtually, but still people will be traveling. People will be going one place to another, whether it's a leisure, whether it's a long-term travel, whether it's a short-term travel, whether it's different locations. So what I feel that after this COVID, the travel industry will become more better, more stronger, and like technology driven like never before. People have their own concept. So if you know that work nation is a new concept in hospitality industry, so it's coming up really well. And there are other concepts which people get their way. So you can't just change the flow of a ocean. You have to be a little bit can say little bit you have to little bit compromise with the things, and people will compromise some things and they will get back to track. So people can't, even if I say especially about India, the Indian people can't stay at one place. So the industry is going to be big, 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 big in coming years, and you will see that uh, a lot of unicorn startups will be coming in the hospitality and the travel industry.
Definitely, sir. We hope for the best. And so my next question is: a lot of services offered by Flyzy do need collaboration, as far as I understand, with airport authorities. So how did you approach and convince the authorities?
So, first thing is to uh, never get shattered with the rejections. You will get a lot of rejections. So right now, whosoever we have client in our pockets, they all have rejected us once before. So always approach them with whatever you have and learn from the feedback they give you. So some people will motivate you to come back stronger. Some people will demotivate you, and so you will meet a lot of people. So first thing, never get shattered with the rejection. Second thing, always go with a foolproof plan. So if you are saying something, if you are claiming something, if you're claiming that you're going to change this thing, if you're claiming that you're going to build something, you should have a backup plan to that. It doesn't matter your plan is realistic or not realistic. So if you are willing to build a plane which can land on a building, you should have a proper plan behind it. This is how it's going to work. And if you can, approach with a plan, and you can, deliver that with a confidence, everyone going to believe you. So one day or other day, you're going to get that. So it's just that you need to be stay calm. It's just that you need to, focus on what you're doing.
Also, so your startup has a coveted IIT tag. So how does that help you in getting permissions from authorities?
Uh, in a bit, I can say that helped us. That IIT tag actually helps us because you have that backing of credibility which comes with that name. But honestly, up to some extent only. I'm not from IIT. My two co-founders are from IIT. I'm not IIT, but that doesn't matter. After some extent, so it can help you in initial runs, initial traction, initial credibility from authorities in government support. But after 4 months, you are on your own. So you have to figure out that how to get clients, how to generate revenue, how to expand, scale. So it's on you. So it's not that कि IIT सब कुछ कर देगा. आईटी कुछ नहीं करेगा, करना तुमको खुद ही पड़ेगा। तो मैं बस लगे रहो कुछ ना कुछ हो जाएगा।
When we are talking about clients, can you please tell us something about the marketing strategy of Flyzy and how did you acquire your first few customers?
See, we believe in community. So I'm basically from India. So I'm also the marketing head of the company. So our basic strategy is to build a user experience which actually engage someone. Someone should feel like this. This is my personal guide. This is something which have deep feelings, which from which I can actually engage. So we believe in community building. So Flyzy is not just a tech company. Flyzy is a community. So it's the biggest community. We believe in building a biggest community of travelers. We believe in people connecting people on different, you know, uh, continents of different countries on a single platform, so that whenever for example, if you, Utkarsh, you will travel to China, it will be a really new experience for you. But you have a, you know, if Saurabh is also in China and you reach China, then you will feel like, oh, you don't feel like that something's wrong gonna happen with me, or you will be conscious about things. So you can have your holidays, or you can have your work done with more efficiency. So we believe in building community. So our first set of customers was uh, the people who we approached during our market survey. So before starting the development part, we went to people and asking them that this is gonna be the product, and would you like to use it after it launch. So we personally went to people and get that data done. Then we build a product accordingly, and then we show them that this is the thing, what all modifications we can do. So we are still in a building process. So our belief is that deliver something and work according to the feedbacks. So now those people plays a vital role in building Flyzy's application, and key features we have. Some of our customers have really good ideas about community building, and really good ideas about how we can scale this thing. What are the key points of the travelers which can be solved by using, which most of the companies don't even bother about. So, but that actually helps us in a positive manner. And after, it's a word of mouth. If your product is good, if your user experience is good, if you have a nominal pricing on that, rest is word of mouth. You don't even need to spend crores on marketing.
So when it is basically word of mouth, but as we understand, the biggest KPI for companies is customer acquisition cost. So how is Flyzy dealing with the same?
Customer acquisition cost always bothers during the initial time, so you need not to worry about that if you are getting a positive response. So if I'm getting someone as a cost of X, and his word of mouth actually values me X into 10, then it's worth it, right? But in the initial go, if I'm worried about spending X, then I can't, build a company or build a community like this. So yeah, in initial times you will have some financial up and down in terms of customer acquisition cost and everything. But if you have a foolproof plan accordingly, if you have your vision in line, if you know that I have to reach moon, then you don't have to worry about the cost of the rocket, right?
Okay, that's wonderful. Uh, you recently wrote on your LinkedIn that biggest employer is inefficiency. So what can we understand from that?
See, this is the vision we are working on, and this is the line which actually attracts me whenever I see people working hard, doing a hard job. I'm not against human resource. I'm not against that we should fire everyone and we should replace them with technology. But if I step back and see that what's actually going on in this time in India, basically, so most of the people are doing job which can be replaced by a single application, or which can be replaced by a single bot or single equation. Okay. So we have, if I see in my market, I see on the airports, there are a number of employees, and if when I sit on the airport and waiting for my flight, every time I realize that, see, I can replace each one of their job by a question, and then what's they gonna do? And if I do that, that might be help. That might help for the airlines, and that might be beneficial for the airport officials or government. But it can be disastrous for the people who are working there. It would be disastrous for the, you can say, employment rate. So what I see that in India, basically, where we have such big population, we are not doing that much productive work, and even we don't want to do that, because if we do that, 80% of our people will be unemployed, and that can be disastrous. So sometimes, if you think from a technical background, I'm basically from a technical background, and now I have business, can say business experience from good couple of time, and when I see these things, it actually uh, fascinates me. Then fascinates me because if I see countries like Canada, country like US maybe, or smaller countries, they are doing their operations most in a most efficient way, and the same thing which a equation can do in India, 10 people are doing that same thing. And if I see that if I replace that equation here, then these 10 people will, you know, fired from their jobs, and then who will take care of their family? So it's really disturbing for an entrepreneur, because you need to take care of all the things. You need to take care of the efficiency, at the same time you need to take care of the people who are working with you. So what I believe the only solution is this is the data, that we need to provide more and more exposure to the people, to the young minds, so that they can work towards more efficient. They can work more efficiently, and this problem will not be there in the future. I hope so, because there's a lot of work to be done in the education sector to improve the quality of graduates we build right now, because until unless it's gonna be disaster after some time.
So, would you like to suggest any plan to the policymakers for increasing
Mhm.
efficiency of the workforce?
See, I'm not the right person to do this. I'm still figuring out that what can be the best manner. I'm hardly any authorized person to tell this, but what I personally feel during my experience, that one should know how to do things in a better manner. So if I see, then a mechanic is having 4 employees to change a tire, and he can replace that one machine which can do this thing automatically. Everything is available in the market. Everything is have been built, but to scale that thing, to have that vision of doing that thing. So if that particular person replace the machine with 4 people, those 4 people will have 4 shops, which will result in having more availability of mechanics in the market, which will result more efficiency, which will result more benefits to the people. But at the same time, it can be disastrous, because then the competition will be high, then they will be earning low. So it can, I'm not the right person to decide this thing, but what I feel that people need exposure. Even engineers need exposure. If you're not, if you're on IT or non-IT, if you're doing engineering from a small college or anything, you just need exposure. You just need to Google everything. You just need to know everything, what's going on in the market. What can I do? What's right? What's wrong? You should have an opinion. You should have a vision. You should have dreams. You should have, you can say, persistence of doing things. So it's just that people need to step out of the comfort zone and think out of the box and take risk in life. Only then you can make millionaires.
So, do you think new education policy is a step in that direction?
It's a step, but it's a damn slow step, honestly. By the time you will do that, the government will be changed, and then there will be new government, and there will be new policies, and by the time they will be implemented, there will be new government and the new policies. So you just can't. I just can't say that it's gonna change the way we study or it's gonna change the future of India. You can't just say that. 6 years old is learning coding. What the hell is going on in this country? So we need to think. We need to step back. We need to analyze things. We should have opinion. We should not be like that. कि जो हो रहा है सही हो रहा है. कुछ सही हो रहा है तो क्यों हो रहा है? कुछ गलत हो रहा है तो वो भी क्यों हो रहा है? उसकी वजह क्या थी? उसका कारण क्या था? If you will not ask questions, you just can't get answers. That's the point.
Okay, on that note, we have introduced a new segment in WhatsApp Startup, that is rapid fire round. So you have to answer as fast as you can. So shall we go ahead with that?
So
So what would you choose between Steve Wozniak or Elon Musk?
I will go for Elon Musk
So product or services?
product.
Okay. So are you a morning person or a night owl?
Night owl.
Quality of life or quantity of life?
Okay. I guess quantity of life up to some extent of the age and then quality of life.
Okay. Are you more of a hunter or a gatherer?
It depends on situation. I'm a hunter as well as I am a gatherer. You can just predict.
Okay. The app you use maximum on your phone?
I use maximum. I use a hell lot of apps. It's a good question. So WhatsApp for now because of communication.
Okay, what's that?
Yeah.
Capitalism versus socialism?
Okay. This is also a good question. So I think socialism, but so it still depends on situation. I can't be strict about this. Yeah, or this agenda, but it still depends on the situation and the people.
Or a mixture of both, as we're having in India?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so one code that has a significant impact on your life.
One quote.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a quote from Facebook's office. It's move fast and break things. And when I entered in entrepreneurship, I felt that this simple and actually meant a lot. Because if you are not moving fast and if you're not breaking the monotony, then you are still better good for nothing.
Okay, so in MUNs, which committee would you prefer? Indian versus UN committee?
So I usually go for Indian for a lot, like I have done hell lot of MBAs. So Indian basically, but if I go for the UN, I usually go for the communist countries. So it's more adventurous.
Okay. Which social media platform do you use the most for digital marketing for Flyzy?
we use uh, we use Instagram and Facebook for the most right now.
Okay, that was a last question for this rapid fire round. To wrap up, our last question is: you have achieved so much at such young age, and first of all, how does it feel as an individual? You've got featured in many newspaper, magazines, and various platforms. Second, what advice would you like to give to the budding entrepreneurs who think that it is not the right age or right time to be the entrepreneur?
First thing, I haven't achieved anything right now. It's still a long journey. I have not even started, so I just cut down that line. Second thing, for my fellow mates, it's never gonna be a right time. You have to start and make it right. You have to jump in the sea and learn swimming. So it's never gonna be right time or right age or right qualification or right anything. So just do it. Whether you're gonna, you can say whether you're gonna win or whether you're gonna learn. So one thing is gonna happen, and both are beneficial for you.
On that note, thank you so much for joining us. It's been great talking to you. You have shared about your journey. You've shared about what is going on in travel industry. Thank you so much on the behalf of full entrepreneurship cell of Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management.
Thank you, Utkarsh. Thank you for having me. And